So everybody, now I'm going to show you what I am talking about in regards to the config file. So here you're going to go into Explorer. 1 second. So then you go in here, Call of Duty players. Then you're going to go into this file here, and this is your config file. You open that with notes. Some of you may know how to do this already, but the setting that I am specifically referencing, so you can scroll all the way down to the bottom of this to get to the one. Just let me find it. Okay, and it is this here. Thread count for handling the job queue. Now, I've watched plenty of guides online. Pretty much everyone else's optimization guides have been spot on, except for this one issue, and I really want to point this out because when I changed this, I got about literally 40 to 50 FPS boost on my AMD 9950 X3D dual CCD CPU. So again, if you have an AMD 9950 X3D, 7950 X3D, any dual CCD AMD CPU, please pay attention to this. Okay, so now what you're changing specifically is this here, thread count for handling the job queue. Now, for most guides, I see people are telling you to adjust this to the number of total cores that you have, when in fact that's wrong. And I'm not trying to call anybody out, I'm just trying to get everyone on the right track. So this is where reading is fundamental. You see it says thread count for handling the job queue, not core count. Now, to be clear, cores and threads are different. They are not the same thing. Yes, they work together, but they are not the same thing. So this says thread count. So everyone out there that is telling people to adjust this according to their core count, please stop doing it because it's incorrect. This does not say core count, it says thread count. So if you have a dual CCD CPU like myself, a 9950 X3D, that is a 16 core, 32 thread CPU. Again, it has 16 cores and 32 threads. So if we're going to go by this, we're going to go by thread count, right? We have 32 threads, but if you have the dual CCD CPU, you only want it working on the first CCD with the extra V-cache, which is your gaming CCD, right? So what you want to do is, instead of taking everyone else's advice and they're only telling you to set this to 8, which would probably run it on the first CCD still, but it would make it run in a single thread configuration, I'm assuming. But in fact, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is a multi-thread aware application, and it does take advantage of it. It's very CPU heavy with all the stuff going on, especially Warzone and stuff. So if you have a 9950 X3D, set this to 16, not 8, not 7. Set this to 16, because again, the 9950 X3D has 16 cores and 32 threads. So if we split that in half, each CCD has 8 cores and 16 threads. So you set this to 16 threads, so it fully utilizes all 16 threads and 8 cores of the first CCD completely. Now, if you have a 9950 X3D, such as myself, when gaming, I would see about literally only about 17, 18, maybe 19% CPU usage, right? So you know that the full CCD was not being utilized. When I change this, I get immediately between 40 to 50% CPU usage in every match. Multiplayer, it's about 40, 43. In Warzone, it hovers and it stays right at around 50%. But when you change this to 16 threads on your 9950 X3D or 7950 X3D, you will then know that you are in fact using the full performance and potential of that whole CCD. Again, it's supposed to be completely dedicated to gaming, so you don't need to save any resources on that CCD because you have the second one. So set this to 16 if you have a AMD dual CCD chip, which would be the 9950 X3D, 7950 X3D, and anything else that falls under that category. So again, thread count for handling the job queue, renderer worker count, dual CCD AMD, set this to 16 because you have 16 threads and 8 cores on that one CCD. And anyone else who has watched another guide and set this according to how many cores they have, including someone with maybe a 9800X 3D, and you only have 8 cores and 16 threads, well, you might want to go in here and change this too, everyone else. Because if you set this according to your core count, then you are wrong. Unless you are purposely trying to run it in single threaded. But again, this is a multi-threaded application, so you want to get all of your performance. So if you set this based on your core count, due to watching another video, you need to go through and change this one thing specifically to however many threads. Typically the number of threads are double the core count. It's probably not the same for every CPU, excuse me, I'm confident in that. So go by according to however many threads you have on your CPU, not cores. Again, I'm going to emphasize, this is based on how many threads you have, not cores. So dual CCD AMD, set this to 16. Everyone else, see how many threads you have and set it based on that. Threads, not cores. Hopes this helps everyone else out like it did me. Like I said, I got an extra literally 40, 50 FPS just off of doing this. And I mean, even as you can see now, I'm hovering over 20% just sitting in the menus. Before I was only literally like 16, 17. So try this and let me know. Again, the specific setting is thread count for handling the job queue, renderer worker count. Set this to 16 for 9950 X3D. Hopes this helps everyone, and have a great day, people.